to be big today as well.
Underway here in Raleigh. NC State wearing the black uniforms here at home. FSU in their Sunday golds. And out of the back row, they get a kill. Victoria David picks up right where she left off.
Surprised to see the back row as the point of emphasis on the first point of the ball game, but count it for David out of the backcourt.
She had played, Paul, in 6 sets prior to Friday night's match, so it wasn't her debut, but she had 0 career kills going into that match in the 6 sets, and they set her often, and to put up double figures like that, incredible.
It was incredible. So go from no starts to taking a ton of swings. Such a massive debut for Victoria David. 29 swings in that match.
Service error for NC State setter Eliza Villar. And that's a change for NC State. They're a bit shorthanded as well, as FSU has a service error of its own. That's Nanu Capia with the service error. NC State had been running a 6-2 all season, but Ashley Mullen injured in the Duke match, so this is her 3rd straight match that she has missed, and that means that they're going with a 5-1 and Villar running the show. And obviously you have to make quite a few changes. For some players, Paul, that can mean increased playing time. For others, decreased playing time. Just so many different factors as this team tries to adjust here early in the ACC season.
That adjustment so difficult. When you go to a 5-1, it puts a little bit more pressure on your middles to generate some offense behind the setter. Lily Cropper stepped up to that task on Friday. 5 kills on only 6 attempts, no errors. As long as NC State is in system, you'll see a little bit more of that slide play for the 3 rotations where Villar is in the front row.
NC State running 2 liberos today. This is Lorna Kerr serving. Rings first swing, no touch, point Knowles.
And that's a new rule this year, running 2 liberos. 2 liberos can play in the same set as long as they play in the same rotation in the service pattern.
Yeah, there's a couple of different ways that you would utilize it. You like the rule change as Ring gets on the board here. In NC State, sometimes you could say, well, someone's better in servicey versus defensive. In NC State's case, Zuza Maciejewicz had been their primary libero and still is, but coming from Europe was never asked to serve. That liberos do not serve in Europe, and so it allows you to dress out another libero, and they can bring in Lorna Kerr to serve in that spot.
And it's just one more dynamic way of utilizing your roster. Let's get a look at a fantastic block on the side of NC State. Lily Cropper perfectly in position for the stop.
And Cropper there in the middle, Villar flanking her. That's another thing to keep an eye on, as Villar gets a touch here along with Cropper. And FSU gets his stuff in the middle. Delaney Ewing with the rejection. But Villar, who is a great story as a defensive specialist, moving into setting this year. I'm sure we'll talk more about that as it goes on. But with her being in the front row in a 5-1 and being tasked with blocking.
Well, and that's the big question mark for Villar. Villar has stepped up nicely with her setting. Evidence there on that perfect tempo set. Villar can keep the ball in system. The problem is the blocking question. Villar is standing at only 5'8". Outside hitters are tasked with taking advantage of her with that slightly smaller block.
And now we're talking about outside hitters not named Yane Hinke, and young outside hitters. Or can they just go to the middle a little more often? That's what they do here with Nanu Capia. 10 kills we showed you against Wake Forest, but also a career best 9 blocks. So playing with a lot of confidence, her best match of her young career.
Good run on the 31 from Capia. She goes off of the blocking hands of Cropper for the point.
And the jump float from Lily Nicholson. FSU utilizing a 6-2. Nicholson goes back row. That was pancaked by Villar, but it'll fall to the floor. Kylene Filimau.
She's a dynamic player for sure, not only playing in the front row offensively for the Seminoles this year. Last year, she played libero for big pieces of the season.
FSU takes the 2-point edge. Nicholson continuing to serve.
Two-setter system on the Seminoles side. You have Nicholson. We saw Nellie Stevenson earlier on in this set.
Another tough serve to handle. NC State out of system. They get a touch on the David swing. There's Courtney Bryan, and once again the libero. Mio Yamamoto makes the dig, and it leads to a Seminole point. Well, we talked a little bit about NC State and Florida State's youth. As youthful as they are with the two setters, with Mio Yamamoto, Florida State added some transfer veterans in some important positions.
That's right, at the setter position, of course, and that was by design. Coach Poole knew that he was going to be young this year, so it was so important for him to bring some continuity. They brought in two setters in Lily Nicholson from TCU, Nellie Stevenson from Montana State to run the offense. They have been running it rather effectively off of the pass of Mio Yamamoto.
Nearly a great play by Nicholson. It went on a nice serving run, but that ball was down. Point NC State. Remember, Florida State played a 5-set epic match showing their grit and toughness to get a win in Winston-Salem. That was a hard-fought match. Get the sense this one today has a high likelihood of being close as well, but that's on paper coming in. You never know, especially with so much youth on both sides. They expect some inconsistencies.
Well, and that's the big problem for both of these squads. It isn't so much that do they have the freshman talent, but how consistently will the talent play from point to point, set to set.
Touch there, point FSU. And talking to NC State head coach Megan Wargo-Kearney before this match, they got swept by a very good Miami team that's into the top 25, ranked number 22. Asked, how she felt that they played, and she said, overall, thought we played well. Miami's really good, but there were just some lulls in key spots. A moment here, a moment there, and she talked to her team, hey, look, we were in a good position, but you have to be able to make that pass or that swing in the key moment. It's been a few key moments for FSU here on a run. They've opened it up by 5. Timeout, NC State. Let's take a look at Florida State at a glance. The Noles have opened up a 5-point advantage here. 8-4 on the year. They've been on the road so far in the ACC. the 9 freshmen. You bring in 5 transfers. So it's the youngest team that Coach Poole has had in a long, long time. But I mean, you're talking about the active wins leader in Division I. Just an incredible career that he has had and continues to have.
High-level consistency is the MO for Coach Chris Poole. Started the program at the University of Arkansas in 1994. He pointed out to me that in 1995, that was his youngest team that he had ever had to put out on the floor until this year, with those 9 freshmen and the additional transfers on the squad.
NC State going to challenge here, I believe, and that's going to give us some extra time to see the play by Kylene Filimawa. And maybe a perfect play, whether this gets overturned or not, Paul, to showcase what she can do. On the floor, it's called a pancake, and then she pops up and gets the kill.
Well, transition is very difficult, but there's nothing like getting a pancake, but then finding out that you're the only available attacker to hit. As we get a glance at the pancake, she's then stuck in the middle of the court, has to transition and hit.
I couldn't see anything from the first angle.
That's a tough view because the middle back obscures the best view of that pancake.
I mean, just from the couple angles we've seen, I don't see anything that would overturn it. It looks like she gets that hand in.
I think it's good. I don't see anything conclusive to overturn, but this one's going to deserve several looks from the R2 official. That's Brianna Spain reviewing at the table. Callie Davis up official in today's ball game.
After review, the call stands due to inconclusive video evidence. NC State loses their challenge.
So that's one of the different 3 rulings. If there is inconclusive video available, whether it's from a player obscuring the shots or something like that, then the call on the court is what stands.
You can see, and not that I'm a great lip reader, but you can see early on that it's just, okay, the call is going to stand. I love having the microphone there because you get the stance and the explanation, inconclusive video evidence. The NC State coaching staff, Coach Wargo Kearney, Jeremiah Ganadakis, who is the associate head coach, pointing to the line judge, saying the line judge had it as down. That was part of what drew them to, and you know, in this case, all the angles we looked at, we don't have an angle that the line judge has. Another great defensive play by FSU. This time Nicholson. And Paul, is it possible? Look, you're missing your leading attacker. Yeah, we need people to step up, but maybe we just need to ratchet up our defense.
Well, and the defense has been what has been the strength for the Seminoles. They're just keeping balls alive. It doesn't have to be pretty, but when you lengthen rallies, eventually you allow for another free swing.
Filimawa has it blocked this time.
Talia Francombe coming to close on that block. A good stop by her. A wonderful read to get the solo over there. It was actually helping out was Francombe, but Villar with the solo stop on that one.
NC State block comes up big. Jordan Smith, who Coach Wargo Kearney felt like did a really nice job on Formery Heredia Colon. As good a job as really you can do with an all-American type attacker.
Well, and if you're Smith, you've got your hands full as a freshman dealing with who, in my opinion, is one of the top 5 outside hitters in the game. I feel like they managed her rather well, all things considered.
Tip from Mason. NC State defense. To the middle, and Capia gets it to go.
I like the work from the Seminoles. They thought it was down, but instead of giving up on the play, when the ball was returned, they went ahead and ran Capia on the middle quick. Excellently done to get back into the play and run it.
Mawa with a big swing.
Mawa with some quality swings. She's been leaned upon heavily here in this ball game, but we see her over on the left. Even when she gets touched up a little bit, she just rears back and takes another swing on the next point. I like her mental effort.
Kylene Mawa had 6 kills, 10 digs against NC State a season ago in the win in Tallahassee. This is the first time they've made the trip to Raleigh since 2022. Off to a good start, 17-9 here in set 1. Timeout, Wolfpack.
We get a look at Mawa. We mentioned before her fantastic work as a libero last year. Well, what do you want a 6 rotation outside hitter to do? You want her to be in serve receive successfully and also take the big swings in the out of system situations. She's done so nicely today.
Well, NC State looking for its first ACC win. FSU, this is a tough stretch of the schedule, but already 2-1. Looking to go 3-1. ACC standings are jam-packed with quality teams. It has been so cool to see this league get better and better year over year. Of course, it was Coach Poole and FSU that really set the bar for the ACC when they became the first league team to ever reach the Final Four back in 2011. That was a breakthrough moment. Some people thought, oh, we won't see an ACC team in the Final Four. And you mentioned that breakthrough and then the consistency for FSU.
And they picked up the title just in 2023, the ACC title in a tie with Pittsburgh just a couple of years ago. So they have been right there in it, as you said, with that breakthrough year starting in 2011. Kaylin Russ getting ready to serve. She's been more of a serving specialist. Sophomore from Winter Garden coming into play. The serve for the Seminoles has been very solid. They've really prevented the Wolfpack from those first ball side outs that they want to get here on the offensive side.
And another tough serve. Has that been, in your estimation, one of, if not the biggest reason that they've gotten off to this strong start? What's made them so effective early on?
Certainly in set 1, it has been the serve. It's also been, we saw midway, that scrappy defense, just keeping a few rallies alive. NC State thought they had a couple down, but scrappily getting the ball up for Florida State long enough to lengthen some rallies and extend this advantage. They've now got them doubled up, 18-9.
There's that scrappy defense from FSU. Again, overpass, looking like it's going to be an NC State point. Not yet. Down just in front of Nicholson. But they are taking a lot of pride in playing that level of defense. It's been fun to watch so far.
Some great hustle as the ball finally goes down. That can be very frustrating if you're an NC State team.
Sure.
You feel like you can't get anything down without a scrappy save. And that offense starting to click too. Florida State now hitting at a 308 number. NC State just a tick above zeros. 6 kills, 5 errors. So they're really struggling to find offense against just the scrappy Florida State defense.
Nellie Stevenson, the setter, into serve. Peyton Whalen into the front row for FSU. there was a touch there. FSU must not have been. They're not asking for one. It'll be point Wolfpack.
Yeah, we would have seen the screams of dismay had there been a touch. Filimao, from this vantage point, though, good swing. Her timing was a little off. She was falling down as she took that swing.
David with a pinpoint pass, and that's what it leads to. Thunderous swing from Delaney Ewing.
No timing issues from Delaney Ewing on that one. She elevated when the block wasn't there. She had a big chance at a swing on that 31. She puts it straight down.
The tempo from Stevenson across. And a block. Once again, David and Ewing. They're having fun.
Oh, David is loving it. Of course, Ewing trying to urge her on. They are so stoked there. I love it.
Good secondary ball to give Smith a chance. Ewing again. Great defensive play by Zuzia Maciejewicz. Good rally here.
Longest rally of the day by far. Wolfpack finally rewarded with some good swings, good coverage on the Florida State side to lengthen the rally, but Jordan Smith with the big swing to finish.
That's a good one from another freshman, Peyton Whalen.
Here's the benefit of that 6-2 system. You can see that the block is held. Cropper has to give deference in system to that 31. The result, Peyton Whalen has wide open spaces for that big swing.
NC State going to make a change at setter. Alyssa Forelli, a 6-foot redshirt freshman from Phoenix, coming in. And typically they're going to bring her in for blocking purposes. Obviously, she has to handle the setting and gets an assist on her first touch. But you have to run the offense, but you want a little more physicality blocking-wise.
That's right. So what they do is they bring in the double sub, Samaya Dorsey, in the front row to block and play right side, with Forelli in the backcourt to set.
Again, the passing of Victoria David on point, and the Noles offense clicking.
And they found something late. In the beginning of this set, they were going to the left side, running the 31 a little bit more frequently. Now they're pushing it to the right side and finding success, not only in the seam, but they're the tool from the swing of Whalen.
Samaya Dorsey coming in, and she is impressed for NC State, but playing well.
She has, and she's in a unique position. When NC State runs the 6-2, she's one of the two opposites, but when they have to go to the 5-1, as they have recently, Samaya Dorsey hasn't seen as much playing time on that opposite position.
The connection there between Nicholson and David, and now Victoria David will serve for the set. NC State pleading its case. They thought that ball was in. It'll be the first set belonging to FSU. This was tied 7.
throughout that set number 1.
So Florida State feeling good after the first set. They pick up right where they left off. Kylene Fili-Maua with already her 5th kill. That leads all attackers. How about on the NC State side? All right, it's 25-14. It's not particularly close in that first set, but this is a staff that has really preached positivity, that has understood that this is going to be a growth process for them. They don't like to use the word young, but it's a lot of growth, and it's a lot of coaching that they maybe didn't have to do. I don't know if that's the right way to phrase it, but
it's a different kind of coaching when you're coaching up seniors and juniors on the floor. You're giving them tidbits that they already know, they're reminders. Whereas with freshmen out on the floor, they're getting tidbits for the first time. It's like, oh, how do I process this?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's early October. They only started their collegiate career technically in August when they began their preseason. That's only really just about 2 full months.
And just going through the battles in the league, or going through the experiences. Great example, their first weekend, they had a couple, they won all 3 matches. One of them was a sweep. The other 2 were comeback wins. They were down 2 sets to 1. Even just to have a little thing like that to point to, it's one thing to give your coaching message to your players. It's another thing for them to have already at least experienced it once or twice, right?
And sometimes that coaching message, as you point out, is a message that has already been reverberated or echoed throughout the years and throughout the culture of the program. But when you're a newcomer, some of those messages in game when the pressure is high is very, very different to consume those ideas essentially in game in a live situation.
Jordan Smith in the net there, point FSU. It's an NC State team that lost 8 players from a season ago. So when I say you're not necessarily coaching differently, as the Wolfpack coaching staff said, we're just saying some things in our gym that haven't been said as often, because when you have so many seniors, they were a very senior laden team a year ago, and some players taking their COVID year. You have fifth year players. There's just some things that are understood because you've been in the system for 5 years, not 5 months.
And again, those become reminders instead of new bits of information. In fact, those reminders, those seniors will say, yeah, I thought they were going to say this.
You've heard that. Yeah, coach, I know, I got it.
We've heard it for 4 years.
Stevenson goes to Fili-Maua and again finds success. Again, the versatility, and it was showcased earlier on that challenge. Got the pancake, popped up, got the kill. The former Washington Gatorade Player of the Year out of North Creek High School. And in the Open, we talked about how the freshmen really stepped up in Winston-Salem. But how about a veteran like Fili-Maua, who has been around for a couple years now in her junior season, saying, all right, I am going to put a little bit more on my shoulders for us to get another road win.
She hits a heavy ball. She's relied upon in 6 rotations this year, but she does have the dynamics of a player that has seen ACC play for years and years. She knows she can't just swing hard every time. She knows she has to pick out an angle. She knows she has to go for the tool from time to time. And this year, she's dealing with 2 new setters. So she's had to really kind of help them to help her as she works through the kinks with both Nellie Stevenson and Lily Nicholson.
Some changes here in the second set for NC State. Clara Vondren going to come in and serve. They changed their 2 libero lineup, so Sydney Daniels is wearing the libero jersey along with Maciejewicz. Lorna Kerr is in there now just as a defensive specialist. Whalen tips, and Villar attacks, which you have not seen very often this year. Running the 6-2. Bryant, another swing. Third time's the charm.
And a single contact from Lily Cropper that is totally legal. She did not, there was no carry. The ball bounced off of her back for the second contact. The first contact.
It's a good dig, right, Coach?
Hey, count it. Take him any way we can get him. And Lily Cropper will be surprised to know that she gets credit for that one. It'll go in the scorebook as a save.
Well, NC State has stepped it up here in the second set. They've got a 3-point lead. And for the first time today, FSU will call timeout.
And done. A complete list of reasons why the ACC is great.
You forgot ACC game days.
And football.
Yes.
Hoops. Oh, I was gonna say hoops. Every sport, really.
I see.
From East Coast to West.
Precisely. One at a time.
No one can touch us.
Slow down.
Yo, it's us. We all make the ACC great. Oh, okay.
Yes.
And football.
And hoops.
We're all attractive.
And we're smart.
Lacrosse.
Swimming.
Baseball.
We're gonna need a bigger board.
What about fencing? Volleyball. We got them all.
Fall in Georgia is awesome, but kind of crazy. And who has time to shop for natural gas?
Hey, get down.
Burgers are done. That's why Georgia Natural Gas keeps it simple, with great rates and reliable service. Kind of makes you feel all warm inside and outside. So sign up with GNG and get $100 off your first bill, because these days, simple is just what you need.
Nationwide is so much more than a great insurance company. They're a financial services company, too. Like he's so much more than Saquon Barkley.
I'm also Staycom Barkley. Insurance and financial services also in.
We expected the young players to step up for both Florida State and NC State. Well, the freshmen for NC State are the kill leaders. Get a look at Jordan Smith, Talia Frankham, along with Rebecca Ring, 3 of the 4 top kill getters for NC State, all freshmen.
Out of the timeout, Capia puts it away.
And there's another freshman in Capia. Capia has stepped up nicely out of the middle. I've been real impressed with her, not just her attacking prowess, but she is really starting to pick up the pace as far as closure on the block. She's been on the spot for most of her blocking responsibilities today.
Cropper on the slide. She was very good at that on Friday in the loss to Miami. Had 7 kills on just 8 swings, and about 4 or 5 of them were with that play right there.
Well, they're going to need a lot more of that to put pressure on all 30 feet of the net of the block of Florida State.
Florida State with a rebuttal.
Good tool from Victoria David to get the point. She'll rotate back and start on the serve.
Bryant in rhythm. She is NC State's leading attacker, the senior from Hardy, Virginia.
And we hadn't seen as much of that in set number 1 because the passing wasn't quite as on point, but they're the give and go. Bryant with the pass transition. She gets to run the tempo set for the kill.
I thought that was a really good dipping serve by Elijah Villar, and FSU able to deal with it.
And there's Capia again getting the stop. A good set of 3 rotations for Capia on the offensive side of the ball.
Kaylin Russ serves to right back. Frankham has it stuffed.
Good read from Ewing to get the stop on that one. She had Frankham red all the way.
Jordan Smith off the high hands, falls to Russ. And Delaney Ewing with the kill. So the FSU middles have been impressive. You said 3 good rotations for Capia, and here's Ewing, who played well in the first set and does well here.
Well, and it's a middle blocker's dream when your coach says, hey, we're going to need more offense out of the middle block. Oftentimes it's a pin game, but when the passing is there and the coaching staff says, hey, when the middles can get a swing, get it to them. So, of course, Capia absolutely loving it, as is Ewing in this match today.
Mason and Florida State on a 5-0 run.
Mason yet to have an attack error. 6 kills on 11 attempts. There she gets the tool. Mason, Capia, and Whalen all error-free, along with Delaney Ewing. So the efficiency of Florida State just continues to shine.
Rebecca Ring comes back in. Talia Frankham. Coach Margot Kearney says she has a chance to be one of the best blockers to ever play here. That is high praise, but that's what her ceiling is.
And you see it on that one. If she just jumps straight up, she's going to get tooled. But she drops her arms down into the swinging area just enough on an angle to get the stop. And the problem that NC State has, they had a lead earlier on, but the biggest problem now is anytime NC State gets something going, a block from Frankham, kill from Bryant, now Florida State has had an answer with a swing of their own immediately thereafter.
Samaya Dorsey. Got soloed up there with Filimawa. Picks up another kill. You can see the energy from this NC State side.
Some great elevation here from Ring. She gets up and over and then is able to tool the block of Whalen.
Well, the question is, can they find some momentum? Because as you just said, and there's some rare misfire by Ewing. As you just said, every time NC State picks up a nice swing here or there, FSU has had a counter to really stunt the momentum, but a rare attacker. We have not seen many of those from the Noles so far this afternoon.
And that one truly unforced. They were in system on that swing.
There's the quick answer. And again, with no Henke, Filimawa is their top attacker on this team.
And she sure is showing it. There, her 7th kill. She's gotten a lot of tools. I like that headiness from her to recognize that when the block is there, there's something else you can do with it. Hit it off the block to score your points.
Back and forth, second set.
Ring with a little bit of off speed there. Went about 80%, so not her full throttle swing. That threw off the block just a fraction. Eventually the ball gets past them and down to the floor.
Back row, and Maciejewicz digs it out. Ring misfires this time. This set has gone about how we thought this match would go. Back and forth. That's not how the first set went. If you're just tuning in, FSU won the first set 25-14. Both sides might be youthful. When they're playing at their best, though, really good. No lack of talent, maybe a lack of experience. No lack of talent on either side. So the question is, who can play the most consistent? Who can play closer to their peak more often?
And both coaches have echoed that throughout this season while having lineups where 3 and even 4 freshmen are on the floor at any given time.
It's got to be exciting as a coach to say, you know, if we can play to our potential, it's got a chance to be pretty good. But also, I don't know if frustrating is the right word, but it might give you a couple gray hairs to say, we can, but how often are we going to be able to do it? That's part of having such a young team. You got to take it in stride.
Yeah, you trust your recruiting class, but then when it's time to put the jersey on, it's like, man, she's 18 playing in an ACC game. Now, how is that level of play going to go? I've been impressed with the freshmen on both squads. We highlighted 3 freshmen for NC State carrying the offense. Rebecca Ring, along with Frankham, and also Jordan Smith. But Florida State as impressive. Lexi Mason, the lefty, looking very, very good. Capia having a fantastic match as well.
Villar shoots it across to Bryant. There's a pancake. Nicholson got to it. That Florida State defense.
They just continue to make saves. They get some quality touches. They haven't stuffed a ton of balls. Only 4 blocks for points on the day. But the balls that they are touching are going up in the air, or they're being covered nicely in the backcourt.
Lily Nicholson, fresh off a double-double on Friday night. The TCU transfer. Clara Vondren from the back row. That was one area that Coach Wargo Kearney, moving from associate head coach to taking over the head coaching role, asked her, you know, what might be just slightly different this year. A lot will be the same, but what might be different? And one of the things she mentioned is, you know, we might have a little more variety in our attacks. We might go to the back row slightly more often, and they go to it there to great effect.
Great transition save in the backcourt from Kerr. And then you get the swing from Bryant, one of my favorite swings in all of volleyball. Off speed, the defenders in the backcourt are in the 1 and the 5. She just rolls to the 6, gets the point, prompting the timeout from Florida State.
Here was that last play. They talked about the positivity of NC State not getting rattled by a first set that was not close. Here's the ACC standings we were talking about earlier, and there's so many good teams in this league. And we still have 5 unbeatens to this point. 11th ranked SMU at 1 and 2. NC State still looking for its first. Going to be really fun season. Already off to a great start, and I love turning on the quad box. What I'm not calling a match, turn on the quad box and check out a few matches at once.
There's a lot of good ball going on. North Carolina having its best start to the season since 2016, when they had a team that went deep in the national tournament. SMU, you see them all the way down there on the second half. Don't let that graphic kind of surprise you. They've had the toughest schedule in the ACC. They will be relevant later on as far as ACC standings are concerned.
Yeah, they're coming up next for Florida State. SMU and Pitt coming to town. We said this is a really tough stretch of the schedule for the Noles. All right, it's not just, well, you got to make a road trip on your opening weekend. It's back-to-back. You get 4 straight on the road. And then here's your reward going back to Tully. Here's SMU and Pitt coming in.
Yeah,
they got a great home court advantage, but those are two really good teams. They'll be tested for sure. They hope to get Henke back by then.
That's right. Welcome home. You have two of the best teams in recent years in the ACC coming to your gym. And then after that in the schedule, they'll head back out west. They'll play Stanford and California in that road trip. So schedule doesn't get any easier for Florida State.
NC State with the net presence here. Frankham with a big right hand on it. The ball's down.
Like this look from Filamaua. The front row was a bit in the scrappy scenario, still trying to transition. So what do? They give it to Filamaua out of the backcourt. Great transition backcourt kill from her.
Boy, NC State offensively so much better here in the second set.
Absolutely, and it begins with a pass. Lorna Kerr,
right,
as you said, shed the libero jersey to pass here. Perfect pass allows for the big swing from Bryant.
A deep serve, just a hair too deep. Now, NC State has already challenged once. Keep in mind, they're on the opposite side of the court, right? So, let's see if we can get a look. It doesn't look like they're going to risk challenging again in case you're wrong. You don't want to lose it.
From this angle, it looked like it could have gone either way, just from my general eyesight.
Live, I thought it might have caught a little bit of the line. It was close.
And that's an important answer on the missed serve. What do? They come back with a quality block over on the right side of NC State. Oh, perfect positioning on the arms from Dorsey. Dorsey drops her right hand to prevent that ball from being tooled out of bounds.
That serve certainly deep.
I like the aggressive approach from NC State on the serve. We've seen that the Seminoles have been in system often on the serve, particularly in set one. So they've really dialed it up a notch here in set two. That does risk those serves out of bounds.
And now an FSU block cuts it to one. These are the moments that decide matches. 20+ points, and both teams coming up with some big blocks here in crunch time of set two.
And that's a tough one there in recognition. Going on the hard cut ring, found the block of Ewing, and unfortunately she couldn't get it past. Timeout here for NC State. We'll see the end of set two in a moment.
This is Florida State University. FSU students have an entire university cheering them on and helping them achieve their goals. Because we take every student's success as seriously as Saturdays at the stadium. This is Florida State University.
Fall in Georgia is awesome, but kind of crazy. And who has time to shop for natural gas?
Hey, get down.
Burgers are done.
No.
That's why Georgia Natural Gas keeps it simple, with great rates and reliable service. Kind of makes you feel all warm inside and outside. So sign up with GNG and get $100 off your first bill, because these days, simple is just what you need.
(22-21). Florida State ran away with the first set. It has been highly competitive here in the second set. With Paul McDonald, I'm Andrew Sanders. It'll be Nellie Stevenson. Fifth-year setter serves it up. Villar had to play that first ball. It's Dorsey sent back. Bryant communicates, calls everyone off. Stevenson tries. Feely Maua got it to tie it.
What a pinpoint swing from Feely Maua, going hard on the cut to tag the sideline. It's the only place she could go with it. Francom well positioned on the block, so worked her way around the lengthy Francom for the kill.
Nearly an overpass. Bryant does get a swing at it. Better than a free ball. Feely Maua stuffed. Dorsey there.
Great answer from Dorsey. We've seen a couple of blocks from her during these 3 rotations. None better than this one here, clamping down on Feely Maua.
That just did trickle over. Ring gives NC State set point.
Great choice by Ring. She recognizes the block up in the air. Block expects her to hit hard. Instead, she goes power fingertips to put it down in front of the right back.
Many of the fans here standing for this set point. Not just yet. Florida State fights it off. Delaney Ewing.
The game plan was a short serve from Sydney Daniels, but it was handled by Feely Maua. The result, monster swing from Ewing.
Set 2 belongs to NC State.
Number 1, so that 10-kill differential has as much to do with NC State stepping on the gas in set number 2 as it is with Florida State.
No touch here, and the first point belongs to Florida State.
What NC State wants to do is key in on the momentum that they picked up late in set number 2. They need to stay in system as often as they can. They're not going to survive long rallies against a really chippy Florida State team.
How about that from David, just seeing the court really well.
A quality tip by her. The defense was expecting a bigger swing, so she goes off speed, throws the marshmallow in the campfire for the point.
It is, 'tis the season. It's fall, y'all.
It is fall. Hey, as soon as October strikes, I'm allowed to use that line.
The marshmallow, it's starting to be good weather for a campfire. Oh, Yamamoto, great play. Great play to keep it up. Yeah, everything in my house right now is apple, cinnamon, pumpkin spice.
It's the best time of year, orange and black, you name it. Want to talk about some great play. There's some scrappiness on coverage from Florida State, but good answer from Bryant on the tool.
Capia went off 1 foot. There's Dorsey, dug out by Nicholson. Courtney Bryant able to tuck that inside the antenna.
You talked about good court vision from David a few moments ago. Here's some excellent vision to go off speed. Good quality read from Florida State to get around the antenna. There's no need to play defense behind an antenna where any ball around it is illegal. Coaches will tell you, hey, you got to make the shift to get into the available court of play. Florida State did, but even better, the play of Bryant.
Yeah, I like the analysis you provided earlier, where you were talking at the time about how NC State was trying to use some variance and make Florida State defend all 30 feet of the net. You don't have to defend 35 feet, if you will. You want to defend the 30, but just that.
That's right. Sometimes you just got to keep it simple.
Bryant starting to get in her rhythm. She now has 8 kills to lead all NC State attackers.
This time ripping down the line around Lexi Mason. Mason was positioned properly, giving away a little bit of line. Bryant recognizes that and swings it off of the right hand of Mason.
It's overpassed. Too easy for Delaney Ewing. Spent last year at San Francisco, transferring in. And while Delaney was not on that initial graphic that we showed of the 3 freshmen that all had double-digit kills, she set a season high against Wake Forest with 9 kills herself. There was a lot of season best, career high, first time, and some of that is, you know, the lack of having your go-to arm and Yane Henke and other players stepping up. Some of that is just counting stats when you play a 5-setter that was neck and neck.
That's right. The numbers are going to be up there anytime you go 5, but it's always nice to be on the winning side of it. One of the unique challenges that Florida State had against Wake Forest is that if any team was going to be as prepared as they could be for Florida State, it was Wake Forest. Wake Forest's head coach, Jeff Halsmeyer, was the associate head coach for Florida State just a year ago. So, of course, Coach Halsmeyer knows all about the strategies of Chris Poole. So they were prepared, and it took a 5th set and a very neck and neck until midway through the 5th set for Florida State to prevail.
And that's a great point you make, is a lot of times when you have 14 newcomers and you're down your go-to attacker, you might say, okay, so, you know, do we know the scout? Yeah. You know the tendencies, certainly. You know what's being said in those timeouts.
That's right. Almost verbatim.
You've heard it.
The 2 very well-respected coaches. We talked about Chris Poole, the winningest active Division I coach with 950-plus victories, but Jeff Halsmeyer has seen plenty of time as an assistant and a head throughout his long career. So that was, I'm sure, a fun matchup for those 2 coaches back in Winston-Salem on Friday. Excellent use of the middle attacker. That in Ewing, we've seen this on the middle quick from Ewing quite a bit today. She has really found success there. 6 kills from her.
Off the net a couple times and down, and this is Florida State starting to create a little distance.
Florida State opened up a 13-7 set 1 lead and never looked back. Here they're trying to reprise the result of set number 1. Certainly looking like they can do so. They have been in system, and they're beginning to capitalize on some unforced errors of NC State.
Hey, you can kind of feel that timeout coming for Coach Wargo Kearney and the Wolfpack. We'll take it with them.
My world is in constant motion. The gym, the airport, the spotlight. I've learned that when I'm comfortable, I'm able to slow things down. Vuori DreamNet moves with me, stretches as I stretch, and keeps me steady through it all. So even though I'm always on the move, it's the comfort of DreamNet that keeps me grounded.
Georgia is awesome, but kind of crazy. And who has time to shop for natural gas?
Hey, get down.
Burgers are done. That's why Georgia Natural Gas keeps it simple, with great rates and reliable service. Kind of makes you feel all warm inside and outside. So sign up with GNG and get $100 off your first bill, because these days, simple is just what you need.
Nationwide is so much more than a great insurance company. They're a financial services company, too. Like he's so much more than Saquon Barkley.
I'm also Stay Calm Barkley. Insurance and financial services also in.
Delaney Ewing, 6 kills, 5 blocks. Maybe going to set another season high. Over 150 kills last year at San Fran.
And she's been a spark plug for Florida State. Yes, and hitting at a 235 number. That's a number she'd like to see a little bit better. But when they have needed a middle kill the most, she has gotten it mostly on the middle quick. We've seen a couple of 31s in set number 1, but really it's been the transition quick set that Ewing has found success on.
It's a tight pass. Whalen with a huge swing, but it comes off the Wolfpack block just as fast.
Whalen got caught underneath this one, could not see the block. Had she stayed behind it just a fraction longer, I think she might have recognized the block was positioned, might have been able to work around it a little better.
You mentioned the quick set to Ewing. And you had highlighted earlier, I think this is continued. I don't want to assume, but with both setters, that rhythm has been there, the connection with both. And I think that's maybe no better highlighted or illustrated than when you can go to that quick set and it feels like they've connected every time.
Well, and that's the challenge, because Ewing,
as you say that, the tempo might have been off, but Ewing says, hey, that'll work too.
She'll take the chicken wing, but and she's all smiles there. I don't blame her on that one. Yeah, the first misconnection we've seen to Ewing today. They're still able to make it work.
Hey, when you're having a good match, you're having a good match.
Oh, I would agree with that. When it's working, it's working. There's no better feeling than when a broken play turns into a score. We saw that in Ewing a moment ago.
Rhythm in system.
Got to give some of that credit to Capia. Capia goes up and absolutely sells that she's going to attack. That holds Cropper for just a split second, creates the seam. No problem for Victoria David after that.
That doesn't show up in the stat sheet. They don't say how many great sells did you have to create space for your teammate.
And believe it or not, where it will show up will be in the video review room on Monday.
As a coach, you like to highlight that?
As a coach, I'm sure Coach Chris Poole will be talking about the importance of holding that block and getting just a fraction of a second less reaction time from the opposing block based on a decoy like that.
Nicholson has served really well this match, coming off an ace. Another kill out of the back row.
And Vondren's look was going to be good, even if it did not clip the net. But as soon as it did, that threw Philomaea off on her defensive position. So Philomaea, unfortunately, she was down, planning on no touch on the net.
Yamamoto did all that she could do. NC State looking to claw back. They've cut it to 3 here.
Some good answers from NC State. It was looking like it was going to get out of their hands earlier on. Florida State was rolling, but since then, some answers from NC State clawing back into it.
That would have been a double a couple of years ago. Instead, play continues. Love that rule change, by the way. Frankham knew exactly where to go with the overpass.
You like the rule change, and the old school setter coach in me says, oh man, where is the art of setting now when doubling is legal? But what it does do is take the judgment call out of the hands of the official.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you like the most.
Well, and we're allowed to disagree. Now, your background in coaching, much more distinguished than my background in officiating. Although I will say, yeah, from, you know, our perspectives are based on our histories.
And the old official.
From my perspective, for instance, we just saw it a couple of points ago. Cropper set the ball, had the second touch for NC State. And I'm not saying that officials, you know, necessarily did this on purpose, but when you see that the middle is about to set the ball, you're already looking, you might even be looking for a double even more, because you know this is not something that they typically do, right? And I think it just allows more play, right? This sport is so fun to watch. We don't really want more whistles. We want more play. And we were just talking off the air before this match about Miami and Ariana Rodriguez and how dynamic she is at setting. And when you have an athletic setter, I think it's great to, whether it's a middle setting, you're not gaining an advantage, was the thought process, right? You're not gaining an advantage, so let's take the judgment call out of it. But I understand from your background and teaching and having great hands, that's something that you take pride in, and you want it to be perfect and not a 1-2.
That's right. There's no more talk of butter hands. Instead, it can be it can be a little bit chunky and still get away with it. But you hit on it when you were talking a little bit about it a moment ago. More play was the objective of the NCAA. Say, hey, more of what we like gets to continue when you don't worry about the double contact on that second ball.
FSU back up 2.
We're seeing some first ball side outs on the side of NC State now, which is just what they need. They're picking up the first ball swing over on the left side.
That was a good set by Frankham, by the way.
And that one would have been legal last year as well.
That was a good set.
So give that credit to Frankham. Some good coverage for the Wolfpack, but this is where we see some of the best of Florida State. In transition, they're starting to, they're continuing that trend of long rallies, are going to defer to Florida State with the better swings.
How about it? Frankham and Ring make a play.
I think Florida State thought this one was going to be down.
Yeah,
instead,
I did.
Yep, Ring in good position. She puts 2 paws up, puts the block down.
And, you know, there's 3 freshmen there. Dorsey and Frankham and Ring having front row success. Ball's out, Point Knowles.
We're returning to that back and forth play that we saw late in set 2. Filamawa getting the tool. She'll score however she needs to, whether it's a tool or a line shot.
Just out.
powerful swing from Ring. It was looking like it was going to be a quality block from Florida State, but instead that ball off of Ewing and just out of bounds off of the powerful arm of Rebecca Ring.
Ring again, got a good touch at the net. Stevenson tries David on the other side. Whalen. Feely Maua out of the back row ends a long rally that was primarily in system, I want to say.
Both squads just taking big swings, but the other digging every single one of them up there. The off speed from Feely Maua out of the backcourt fools Lorna Kerr playing right back.
Usually you see a rally of that length and there's a fair bit of scrambling, and didn't see a whole lot on that point. They're just feeding Rebecca Ring, the freshman from Madison, Wisconsin.
Good answer by her. Now 11 kills on the day, but she has the most swings, 44 of NC State's 122. That's a lot of pressure on her for her squad.
Vondren serve into the middle of the net. FSU back up 2. Whalen, Stevenson out. And Nicholson has been one of the most effective servers for FSU today. This is one of the few times today Nicholson's hustle and effort has gone against her. She dove, the block got an extra touch. You can't plan for that. Point Wolfpack.
Yeah, but she was all laid out at that point. I mean, she was prepared to make the play.
Yeah, ready to do it.
Without the reach back. But as soon as that ball was glanced off, that was it for the point.
Little long, tied at 19. For the first time here in this third set, FSU created a 5-point advantage earlier in the set, but now Coach Poole, for the first time, will call timeout.
Fall in Georgia is awesome, but kind of crazy. And who has time to shop for natural gas?
Hey, get down.
Burgers are done. That's why Georgia Natural Gas keeps it simple, with great rates and reliable service. Kind of makes you feel all warm inside and outside. So sign up with GNG and get $100 off your first bill, because these days, simple is just what you need.
Let's order boring, overpriced food for the gang.
Hey guys, try Little Caesar's cheesesteak crazy puffs instead.
They're only $3.99. Can't beat that in this economy.
Cheesesteak? Little Caesars is the real deal.
Any other advice?
Yes, avoid highways. Now, Saquon?
No.
Now?
There's a car right there.
What's a car? Try new cheesesteak crazy puffs for $3.99. Little Caesars is the real deal.
Pizza, pizza.
Timeout, Florida State. NC State's leveled at 19 apiece here in the third set. As expected to this point, Seminoles in another battle here on the road. Escaped with a 5-set win in Winston-Salem on Friday night. NC State looking for that elusive first ACC win. Probably should have had it at Duke in their opener. Just didn't play very well. Played much better against North Carolina, but as you mentioned, the Tar Heels 4-0. They're having a good year out of the timeout. NC State wins a big point. And then you play a 22nd ranked Miami, really good. Now you get a Florida State team that is, yes, without their best attacker. Yes, they're young, but oh, so talented. That's just life in the ACC. There's no easy matches.
And you hit the nail on the head. Every one of the teams that you mentioned are either perennial winners or, in the case of Florida State, and we highlighted earlier just how much success they've had. If a down year for Florida State, it means that they're in the middle of the pack. Well, hey, that's still a pretty good year. So for NC State, no easy outings, nor that for Florida State either.
Well, and Coach Poole has made the NCAA tournament with FSU 15 of his prior 17 years. Almost every year he's making the NCAA tournament. But for a lot of time in the ACC, you had to be one of the, and they were for a lot, the top team, or you had to be one of the top 2 or 3 teams to make the tournament. That's not the case anymore.
Right now you're getting 5, 6, 7 bids, sometimes even more. I mean, we saw the ACC standings earlier on, a fantastic graphic by our group. The top 5 teams in the ACC in conference play are undefeated. They're all nationally ranked.
Yep. Villar with a rare attack. Tied at 21.
Outlet set from Vondran was high enough to allow Bryant to take a full swing. She did so tooling the middle block.
Yeah, that was a nice set. Villar with a key service error.
The rhythm for Villar was not there. Her normal routine, there's an extra pause in there, but sometimes when you're serving, things start to speed up on you. They're missing the serve in a key spot.
She is the leader of this team. NC State with an attack error. And now it's the Wolfpack's turn to call timeout.
Fall in Georgia is awesome, but kind of crazy. And who has time to shop for natural gas?
Hey, get down.
Burgers are done.
No.
That's why Georgia Natural Gas keeps it simple, with great rates and reliable service. Kind of makes you feel all warm inside and outside. So sign up with GNG and get $100 off your first bill, because these days, simple is just what you need.
Anytime you get the chance to compete, be in close games, it's kind of what you live for. Football teaches you a lot. It starts with staying true to yourself. I just want to show up with a lot of energy, not look at the past, not look at the future, just kind of be where my feet are.
Back here in Raleigh with Paul McDonald, Andrew Sanders. We were just talking about how good the league is, and here's the ranked team, 6 ranked teams. And you got 3 of the top 6. You could see Stanford and Louisville play on ESPN at 5 o'clock. Looking forward to that one.
That's going to be a massive ball game. Not just implications in the ACC, but also beginning to see implications down the line for the national tournament. Top 4 get to host the first 2 rounds. So such a big situation to try to get one of the top 4 seeds.
Well, they got Bryant in rhythm, a good swing, just missed her spot, and it's set point FSU.
I say first 2 rounds. It's actually the first 4 rounds in that scenario.
A little long on the serve from Kaylin Russ.
NC State needs to do it with Ring, Dorsey, and Francom in the front row.
Filimao with the kill. Great communication. I don't know.
Florida State took advantage and finished off that third set.
So back and forth match thus far. We'll see if NC State answers to force a fifth set, or if Florida State can finish off its winning weekend, what would be a really big win for them. Any road win in this league, but particularly when you're down your top attacker, particularly one of the quality of Janne Henke.
Florida State hopes to have Janne Henke back next weekend. So today, this weekend's trip, she didn't even travel. One of the things that Coach Poole mentioned to me was, hey, if we even traveled her, we would have been tempted to get her in there. And if what she needs is rest, then it's probably a safer bet for the coaching staff just to leave her at home, get in the training room much more often, and get well so she can be prepared for next weekend.
Yeah, they would be tempted, I'm sure. Janne would probably be saying, please, I'm ready. What a straight down block.
The block absolutely ready for that one. Dorsey got caught looking up again at the set. So instead of waiting to take a swing when she could have the block in her periphery, she's stuck looking up, swinging right into the block. Florida State makes no mistake.
And an ace. Nanu Capia with the ace. Paul, I'm a glass half full. I'm an optimist anyway, so I'm always looking for the bright side. But you know, if you're down Henke and you go 0-2 this weekend, but you have some freshmen step up and play pretty well, that could be a really big building block and a good positive moving on, because you might need some of these players as the season goes along. They've got a chance here. They win this set to go 2-0 this weekend and see all of these players stepping up in big ways. And yeah, they're going to get one of the top attackers in the league back soon. That is really exciting for Florida State.
That is absolutely colossal. Picking up the win on Friday as we get a look at Janne Henke, 4th in the league in kills per set. So take her out of the equation. Florida State still with a chance to sweep the weekend on the road without their top kill getter.
Yeah, that would be massive. You want to give some air on that secondary ball, and that one just sails over the antenna and out.
So the setter and opposite switch, or right side switch for Florida State, takes place as it normally does throughout their 6-2 system. Nellie Stevenson and Peyton Whalen on for 3 rotations.
That was an ace. It's down. FSU serving really well here to start set number 4. It was the Noles who won this matchup last year on November 10th in Tallahassee, won it in 4 sets. Taylor Head led the Noles, a double-double, 12 kills, 22 digs. That is notable, one, because she was the team leader in both categories and was a great player. One of the players that they missed this year. Also notable because she is the older sister of NC State baseball's center fielder, Ty Head. So a house divided.
Very, very divided. And then mix in some of the lineage. Head a transfer from Arkansas.
Correct.
That's where Coach Chris Poole coached at for many years before coming to Florida State.
And was originally recruited at Arkansas by Megan Wargo-Kearney because she was an assistant at Arkansas.
Boy.
Ties everywhere.
Volleyball is a small community, and you just laid it out, Andrew. Talk about 6 degrees of separation. Nobody has more than 2 degrees of separation in the players and coaches that we talked about.
Courtney Bryan had a double-double also in that match for NC State. They might need to lean on her here in this 4th set, but again, this barrage of tough serving from FSU continues.
We saw the service ace from Nellie Stevenson a moment ago. Now Filimao getting in on the action, targeting ring over on the left side of the pattern.
And Capia had one earlier too, so it's been a number of different Noles. Ewing calling for it, got it. One of the few times she hasn't been able to put it down. Ring cleared for takeoff, sent back. Great dig by Maciejewicz. Oh, over the head, Rebecca Ring keeps it alive. Great point. Florida State will take it.
Rebecca Ring had to chase this one down, and the rule now is there is no pursuit. So if that ball had ended up on the Florida State side, she would not be allowed to play it. But Ring did make the play. They survived the rally, but Florida State eventually terminates.
David tools the block. FSU a 5-point lead. Trying to cap off what would be a great weekend of play. Timeout, NC State.
Fall in Georgia is awesome, but kind of crazy. And who has time to shop for natural gas?
Hey, get down.
Burgers are done. That's why Georgia Natural Gas keeps it simple, with great rates and reliable service. Kind of makes you feel all warm inside and outside. So sign up with GNG and get $100 off your first bill, because these days, simple is just what you need.
One thing Planet Fitness members have in common, they're all strong.
That's right.
We're all strong on this planet, Planet Fitness. Planet Fitness is proud to partner with Boys and Girls Clubs of America to create stronger, kinder communities.
One-A-Day Women's Multis are made for your overall health, with nutrients for immunity and energy. So you never miss a beat. One-A-Day, the one for you.
The college basketball season starts November 3rd, and ACC Network gets you ready for ACC tip-off once again from Charlotte, the conference's annual preseason media days. 8 hours of coverage beginning at 9 a.m. Eastern for 3 straight days. The women are featured tomorrow and Tuesday morning, the men Tuesday afternoon, and Wednesday they'll have team previews and interviews with all 36 head coaches and players from each team. Watch each day streaming on the all-new ESPN app. I will say, as a fan, I love watching and hearing from all the different coaches and teams and getting excited for the season. As a broadcaster, I have so much respect for the ACC Network crew. You talk about the prep work that goes into making sure you know all the storylines, the narratives. What are some good questions to ask? 36 head coaches. They do such a great job with that. I can't wait to watch.
That's right. And all the footage, all the clips, a ton of work by the ACC Network.
And the league's really good in volleyball. The league is going to be really good in basketball, too.
And basketball has always found great success, of course, in the ACC, without a doubt. This year will be no exception.
Out of the timeout, NC State needed a point and got it.
Creative play by Ring. That ball on the outlet set just a little bit tight. You see the bomb set, so she has to get up and use fingertips to maneuver out of the way of Capia. Excellent save to get the ball out of Capia's range and down for the point.
Caught the antenna on the swing from Peyton Whalen.
So a new wrinkle for NC State. Alyssa Ferrilli back out on the floor for NC State. So trying to shake some things up from a setting standpoint with Ferrilli in the front row.
This is next week's featured ACC Network Women's Soccer match. A big top 10 battle Thursday night at 7 Eastern. Number 2 Notre Dame host number 6 Florida State at Alumni Stadium in South Bend. It's also available on the all-new ESPN app. Those two teams were top 3 in the preseason. Florida State has already beaten the preseason number 1 in North Carolina. So their pathway to a regular season title might just go through South Bend. Look, it's a tough schedule for the Noles. They had to win in Chapel Hill. They did. Can they win in South Bend? That'll be answered by about 9 o'clock or so on Thursday night. You don't want to miss that one. Two really great teams going at it. All right, both teams already using one timeout, and I think you see the importance of momentum here in this fourth set. Florida State started off well. They don't want NC State gaining any momentum. Not that a 5-point lead is safe at all, especially early on, but it's substantial.
And I like the spot here to call the timeout while the lead is well intact. A side out here. Mark up your X's and O's in the timeout. See what you can do against the serve of Vondran.
Serves to David. Capia, yes.
That's the answer Coach Poole was looking for out of the timeout. An in-system pass. Instead of going pin to pin, they go into the middle to Capia. Capia having another solid day. 6 kills, still with no errors, hitting at a 500 clip.
Well, Bryan did everything she could, but couldn't tuck that into the antenna.
A very difficult angle for her. And there it is, that 5-point advantage whittled down to 3 out of the timeout. 2 quick points from Florida State.
Farelli setting, Cropper swinging. Mason, the lefty, has it sent back. Again, they go to the middle. So much success there this afternoon.
This time Capia on the 31. You see her effort to transition, absolutely fooling Lily Cropper. Cropper did not think that Capia would be set. So when she was, only 2 hands in front of Capia. That's not a good matchup. Capia loves it.
7 kills for Nanu Capia, hitting over 500. It has been a balanced Seminole attack. Fili Maua with 14, Ewing and Capia, your middles combining for 15. 8 from Ewing, 7 for Capia. Lexi Mason has 8. For NC State, it's been Courtney Bryan and Rebecca Ring for the most part, 14 and 13 respectively. See, Haley McFadden came in for a moment. She'll go back in to serve as Frankham comes into the front row. Maciejewicz, this is in Maciejewicz's spot, so they'll have the freshman McFadden serve. Frankham, as I said, in the front row, makes it known immediately.
And she's a decent offensive threat, but it's her block that is such a problem for Frankham. Now her 9th block of the ball game.
Coach Margo Kearney said, you know, McFadden's been practicing so well, wants to give her more opportunities. Played quite a bit against Miami on Friday. This is our first time really seeing her in this match. Pancake. Mio Yamamoto She's almost got 20 digs today. This one does not lead to an FSU point, but man, she has been just kind of quietly, as liberos sometimes are, right? Just quietly helping orchestrate everything.
And the key for Yamamoto is not just making digs, but digs that are playable to run the offense. Now on the Pancake, not so much. You're just making a save to keep it alive. But many of Yamamoto's digs have been in system enough to have some offense from the Seminoles.
Dorsey steps into it and terminates.
Philomar nearly got the solo stop, but she wasn't quite in position. She was still on the move when that ball was attacked.
Off the top of the tape, right to Yamamoto. And they have an answer this time for Filinawa.
Good answer from NC State there. The quality block from Dorsey. 7-point advantage from Florida State. Whittled away down to just 3.
That ends the 3-0 Wolfpack run. Again, Capia has not made a single error. Near flawless in the middle.
Yep, she's looked really, really good. It's that middle quick, that tempo has been so hard for the Wolfpack to put a block on. Frankham with a good look, but sailed it just wide of that right sideline. That's one she'd like to have back.
One-on-one. Vondren's had success there a couple of times today, but Ewing ready for it. And NC State ready to talk things over.
Ewing in proper position. She was blocking on the solo, so she goes in more of a Y formation, dropping both hands down to cover the most space against the Vondren backcourt block. Backcourt attack, pardon me.
So remember, Florida State already went to Atlanta and Clemson and here in North Carolina this weekend. They do get to go home, but you got a couple of top 11 opponents. And then the toughest trip in the league, because you have to fly so far to go out west, and you go to Palo Alto first, where Stanford has got a really good squad. So they're going to be tested in a big way. Big way.
They do. The travel of the ACC really just added that extra wrinkle when Stanford and California came into the league, along with SMU, out of Dallas. That's an added trip as well. Stanford just looking so good and so consistent this year. They are young, but they do have some great talent on their squad. So for Florida State, SMU, Pitt, Stanford, how about that for a gauntlet? 11, 5, and 4 in their next 3 matches following this one today against NC State.
You know who will be really glad to make that trip out west, though? Delaney Ewing, who just got the kill. Remember, spent last year at San Francisco. So going back to the Bay, plenty of great food out there. Maybe she can give the team some recommendations or something.
That's right. And the family can hopefully come out and enjoy her. Well, they'll have lots to enjoy. Ewing with 8 kills and 8 blocks. Certainly an enjoyable performance today so far.
Mason falling backwards. She's put in a tough spot. Bangs it off the antenna. And if you've never been to Stanford, my goodness, that campus is gorgeous.
It is one of the most beautiful campuses. And they play in Maples Pavilion. It's a nice place to play a volleyball game as well. Very good arena for volleyball.
Might be the most impressive kill Rebecca Ring has had today.
I can't emphasize how difficult this swing was from Ring. The ball is just a little bit tight. She still had to maneuver around Mason. Rips it down the line for the point.
This NC State team fell behind 18-12, but not done yet. Here comes another three-point spurt out of the timeout, and Florida State will burn its timeout. We'll be back in a moment.
Fall in Georgia is awesome, but kind of crazy. And who has time to shop for natural gas?
Hey, get down.
Burgers are done. That's why Georgia Natural Gas keeps it simple, with great rates and reliable service. Kind of makes you feel all warm inside and outside. So sign up with GNG and get $100 off your first bill, because these days, simple is just what you need.
Let's order boring, overpriced food for the game.
Hey guys, try Little Caesar's cheesesteak crazy puffs instead.
They're only $3.99. Can't beat that in this economy.
Cheesesteak? Little Caesars is the real deal.
Any other advice?
Yes, avoid highways. Now, Saquon?
No.
Now?
There's a car right there.
What's a car? Try new cheesesteak crazy puffs for $3.99. Little Caesars is the real deal.
Pizza, pizza.
Here's a look at what's upcoming for NC State. Easier travel for them. They just go right up the road. About an hour and 15 minutes at Wake Forest, and then a return trip from the Deacs on Saturday. So a little bit interesting to play the same team back-to-back. They get Clemson, Georgia Tech at home, and then they'll have to hit the road for real at Pitt. Both teams have been really good today out of the timeouts. No timeouts left, so this one's going to be decided right here.
Yep, we're going to go right down to the wire. NC State has continued to close 7-point advantages from Florida State down to as few as 3 throughout this stanza, but they're going to have to do a little bit more if they want to extend this match.
Frankham thought she had a great block. How did that stay up? Unorthodox from Ring, but that's the ball that gets down.
Well, I think we would have seen a challenge had Ring not put that one down. That's a foot up from Whalen, which is what made the save.
Kick, save, and a beauty.
Some good serving from Sydney Daniels, putting some pressure on the reception of the Seminoles, particularly with the freshman Victoria David in the middle of the pattern.
And then an ace on a home bounce.
And with no timeouts remaining, there's not a whole lot Coach Poole can do except try to wait this one out.
It's a 6-1 run. That sets up perfectly for Fili Maua. Those are the little moments that Coach Wargo Kearney is talking about. You've got some momentum. Can you execute? And that one pretty much a gift for the top attacker for FSU.
Yeah, the overpass from Ring, that's one she'd like to have back. But then Fili Maua makes no mistake on her swing.
And then catches Ewing on the serve. A rare miss hit. Fili Maua has been Florida State's top server this year, but misses in a big spot. Now Lorna Kerr of NC State. Ewing, good.
And in system, they go back to Ewing out of the middle. I love that look. Instead of going to the pins, run the 31 to Ewing. Like this location here on the set. Can't say enough about the work of Nellie Stevenson on that set.
It's tight. Ferrelli uses her size and scores.
And that's just why NC State made the switch. It's so you would have the lengthy Ferrelli in the front row for a save like this. She does so successfully.
Was injured last year, redshirted, made her college debut just last weekend at North Carolina. So playing in just her second collegiate match, comes up with a huge point there. That sneaks through the block, and FSU back up 2.
Good cut from David just to take the swing at it. She found the block and the middle block at that, so glancing it off of the middle blocker and down for the point. This is a key service reception here for NC State. They don't want to go down 3 here with Florida State and a chance to close the set and match.
Millie Nicholson, tough serve. Bryant cashes in and cut it to 1.
Ferrelli looked really solid on this one. She has to get out to 10 feet and rotate her body so she can locate properly for the set to Bryant. She does so nicely. Bryant does the rest.
Back row, Vondren rolls it over, chance for the Noles. They defend Capia. Maua tips. Free ball. FSU can't take advantage. It's Bryant! When NC State needs a big point, they're going to go to number 12, and she's gotten back-to-back kills to even it at 22.
Interesting spot for NC State. Lily Cropper on serve has been playing right back. We've seen Florida State target her. They have survived these rallies to continue the offense.
And a block. Frankum and Ferrelli. It was Ferrelli. It cannot be overstated, Paul. She played against North Carolina. Barely, just a few plays. She is coming up huge here in the 4th set for NC State. Running the offense. Goes to Bryant again. They'll take it.
That ball set a little bit tight on the scramble, so Bryant gets creative, up and over, gets the tip to go.
It was 18-12. A 12-4 run, set point, trying to force a 5th. And FSU with a thunderous kill.
Oh, and the crowd felt that one too. As soon as Maua took the swing, you heard the ooh out of the crowd, sucking the wind out of it. So NC State, to extend this match, they'll have to do it on service reception.
That was big time from Maua. FSU double hit. We'll head to a 5th.
That's Courtney Bryant with 17 kills, Maua with 16. So 2 of the elders on each squad leading the way.
Nanu Capia, 9 kills.
Everyone in Reynolds Coliseum holding their breath for that one. If that ball had trickled over the net, you almost have to presume that would have been a service ace.
Courtney Bryant, we told you she had a double-double against FSU last year. This one even more impressive. 17 kills, 15 digs. And more importantly, has her team in a position to be able to win this one. Mason sails it.
And Fili Maua motioning over to the coach to say, hey, I believe that there was a touch. But no, instead they're going to challenge whether that ball was in or
just down.
out.
Yeah. And actually, I think it was Kaylin Russ, maybe,
Florida State is challenging that the ball was in.
who was kind of demonstrative, saying, hey, that ball was good. And so Florida State, remember, they just lost a challenge a moment ago. You be the judge. Mason swing. Ooh. Yeah, that's in for me.
Yeah, that one looks pretty good. And we'll see the call here in just a moment.
After review, the call is reversed. The ball was in. Point to Florida State. Florida State retains their challenge.
And you see Kaylin Russ, who sent a check in, yeah. And I don't think she was the only one, but urging Coach Boyd, challenge that. That ball was down. Good view, good eyesight. She'll come in and serve.
So you had Fili Maua asking for the touch, and then also you had Kaylin Russ saying, hey, touch or no touch, that ball was in.
Yeah.
Either way, they get the point.
Nine kills now for Lexi Mason.
And there's the service pressure of Russ. Now, Russ has yet to get a service ace in the book, but that goes in the book about as good as a service ace can get, putting that ball with such pressure on the service reception.
Rebecca Ring, 1 kill shy of her career best. She's got 16 today.
And Ring again going down the line. We've seen her begin to mix in line for her, particularly in sets 3, 4, and now in set 5. Good swing by her.
Sydney Daniels making sure she covered that line. She did. It's out. And FSU was just in this situation Friday night, pulled out a win. They had lost 5 setters at USF, at Oklahoma. So I'm sure it felt a little extra sweet to get a 5-set win and to give them some belief that they can do it again. They pull ahead on this swing.
Fili Maua again going hard angle, eventually getting that ball to glance off the middle block for the point.
We talked earlier about NC State and their confidence building first weekend, where they came from behind a 4-set deficit down 2-1 to win in 5, not once but twice. That was against Akron and Green Bay. Different level in the ACC here today, but they've had some 5-set success. They also dropped a 5-setter to ODU. Tied at 4 as Samaya Dorsey tips to great success. Team kills for Kylene Fili Maua.
Give a ton of credit to Delaney Ewing. We talked a little bit about the decoy from Capia earlier on today, but Ewing holding the block out of the middle for Fili Maua to get a better look.
Fili Maua with the tough serve. Couldn't be sure it was going out, had to play it. Gave it her best effort, even at 5.
been so impressed with the effort of Filimawa. But NC State just continues to come with their effort, their ring, putting enough doubt in Filimawa's mind. She had to try to make a play on it.
Ferrelli, who gave him a spark in the fourth, sets Bryant. She'll try her again. But, well, Florida State was in the net. One way or the other, NC State will take the point.
And that was going to be the kill either way, but Delaney Ewing in the net on that one. Tough service reception spot for the Seminoles.
It's tight. FSU was in the net. 2 straight points. We got Whalen here, I believe. Yes.
And Whalen looking over to her coach to confer whether or not she was in the net and whether or not to challenge. Whalen says, don't challenge it. I was in the net on that one.
NC State up 2. Bondren comes flying out of the back row. Wow!
Oh, what a wonderful choice from Ferrelli. We hadn't seen the back row attack from NC State in several sets. Big swing from Vondren. They'll take the side switch in the advantage. NC State up by 3 here in the deciding set 5.
Another hole?
It's all going to come together. I'm your man.
Asking the right question can greatly impact your future.
Are you really a licensed electrician?
Trust me. Not again.
Especially when it comes to your finances.
Do you have a question?
Are you a certified financial planner?
Yes, I'm a CFP professional.
CFP professionals are committed to acting in your best interest. That's why it's gotta be a CFP. Find your CFP professional at letsmakeaplan.org.
Fall in Georgia is awesome, but kind of crazy. And who has time to shop for natural gas?
Hey, get down.
Burgers are done. That's why Georgia Natural Gas keeps it simple, with great rates and reliable service. Kind of makes you feel all warm inside and outside. So sign up with GNG and get $100 off your first bill, because these days, simple is just what you need.
Courtney Bryant has led the way, particularly late here in set number 5. Courtney Bryant with 19 kills, and again, coming up big with many shots in her toolbox. You see the tip a moment ago, but she has been scrappy as well, mixing in 16 digs along the way. She has truly been, as Dickie Vitale would say, a stat stuffer on the day.
19 and 16. Leaning on her, leaning on Rebecca Rink. We just saw a huge back row attack by Clara Vondren. Pushed them up 3. Meanwhile, again, the versatility of Kylene Filimawa. She has impressed as expected.
She really has. I love her energy, her fight, absolute intensity out on the floor. 6th rotation outside for the Seminoles.
Stevenson contorts her body. Filimawa just has to tip it over. No touch. They got Bryant a good look. And that's one of those opportunities that goes by the wayside. Could have been a 5-0 scoring run. Instead, it's just a 2-point lead.
And that brings Capia out on the floor in the middle for 3 rotations. She's been real dynamic on the offensive side of the ball.
Oh, yeah. Proper off of 1 foot. Yamamoto keeps it up. NC State getting some bounces, getting the setting of Alyssa Pirelli.
Courtney Bryant, boy, you want to talk about a fortuitous swing. This ball slams hard off the net, then spins out of the range of Victoria David. A big answer after the attack error from Bryant a moment ago.
Good pass. Fili Maua got it from the back row.
Important spot for NC State. They now have to answer back with a point off of a tough serve of Lily Nicholson. Lexi Mason now in the front row as well.
Fili Maua now with 19 kills. She's gone above 20. Did that against South Florida earlier this year in that 5-set loss. Bryant now 21 kills, one shy of her career best.
What a tough shot by her. She has to go high and then she has to rotate her shoulder down the line. Finds just enough room for the 10th point of set 5.
I don't know if we've seen Florida State really run that today. Not much, if at all.
We saw one behind the center, and it was more of a back quick, but they're almost a pure slide. Nope, haven't seen it really all day, and not generally going to see a look like that in a 6-2. About the only time you can run it is in service reception.
Fall in Georgia is awesome, but kind of crazy. And who has time to shop for natural gas?
Hey, get down.
Burgers are done. That's why Georgia Natural Gas keeps it simple, with great rates and reliable service. Kind of makes you feel all warm inside and outside. So sign up with GNG and get $100 off your first bill, because these days, simple is just what you need.
Nationwide is so much more. Isn't it time we work too? Put up one hand for insurance. Put up your other hand for financial services. Now give it up for great insurance and financial services. Don't let
up. Sorry about that. We'd like to try the Monster menu.
The Monster menu at BK is frightfully fun for families of all kinds.
You rule. This is next week's featured ACC Network women's soccer match. Top 10 matchup Thursday night, 7 Eastern. It's number 2 Notre Dame hosting 6th ranked Florida State at Alumni Stadium in South Bend. It is available also on the all-new ESPN app. Timeout FSU. 4-point lead for the Wolfpack. Trying to complete the comeback and earn the first ACC win of the year. They go to Capia, not on a slide this time. They disconnected there. This is kind of what we've seen all day.
Back to basics with Capia and in-system play. Only one blocker. Frank Combe did her best to take up some space, but good rotation of the shoulders from Capia.
Capia into double-digit kills for the 5th time this season. Bryant, 22. She matches her career high that she set last weekend at Duke. Overpass. Ring knows what to do with it. 5-point Wolfpack lead. Timeout, FSU.
Rebecca Ring with a clutch overpass kill. And it's a gutsy move. That ball was a little bit off of the net. She could have easily peeled off and played it, but instead takes a snap at it, puts it down. That's a pressure spot. Here as we get another look at that ball. Reaching back was Ring. to take the snap and get it down. A big spot for her. 17 kills for the freshman on the day.
Also tying her career best. So they have gotten career days from both Courtney Bryant and Rebecca Ring, carrying this offense to the precipice of an ACC win.
They have, and I can't emphasize enough about the number of repetitions, total attempts, 113 swings between Bryant and Ring. There have only been 184 swings for NC State throughout. So Bryant and Ring shouldering, literally and figuratively, the challenge of picking up their first victory here in ACC
So
play.
quick math, about 2/3 of the Wolfpack attacks going to that duo, and they have come up big.
If they leave this match with a win, I don't think they're going to complain about offensive balance. They're going to say, hey, we came in and we found a way to do it. Two of the toughest points they're going to come here on the serve of Bryant.
FSU out of timeouts. They've been really good out of the TOs here today, but no answer for a Bryant ace that gives the Wolfpack match point.
And they targeted the freshman David. Smart move there with the libero and Filimala over on the left side of the pattern.
Bryant serves for the match. Filimala uses the NC State block, and they fight off the first match point.
Who do you go to when you have to extend the match? It's Filimala. Filimala now with 20 kills of her own to go with 10 digs on the day.
Great serve. It's out, and NC State wins it. We're going to have a challenge.
Well, and there's no sense leaving a challenge in your pocket if there's any chance that this ball was blocked in. Of course, that would extend the match, but otherwise, we'll see NC State victorious in 5.
Well, they have waited 3 matches already, and they're going to have to wait just a little bit longer to celebrate here if this call is upheld.
Oh, and,
and if it's overturned, you've got to regather your focus because you thought this match was won. Let's see. Oh, it's so close. You hear the crowd reaction. They think it's out. Oh. I don't think there's enough to overturn it, Paul.
I think the question is whether or not it is conclusive. Is there red in between the ball and the line?
Just from that one freeze frame. But as the ball compresses, could it not have been on the line? I think it could have been, but is it enough to overturn?
That's right. Is there video evidence conclusive enough to overturn?
After review, the call is confirmed. The ball was out.
NC State celebrates its first ACC win of the year, and the first for head coach Megan Wargo Kearney. They earned it in